Welcome to EDU 687, Emerging Technologies in Educational Leadership. We are in week 4 on Tuesday, June 7th. I'm excited that you're a part of this first online class for the course. Please remember that we will also have another online class on June 21st. Let's review the agenda. We will discuss the objectives of this session, talk about the Remind app, have some SMART goal setting and action planning, the WCG modules, the Florida Principal Leadership Standards, Leadership Clock Buddies, and the assigned readings for chapters 5 and 6, key concepts, questions, and activities, and our references. The objectives of this session are that the educational leadership researcher will be able to understand the role of the data analyst in school improvement, utilize technology to improve teaching and learning, understand the history of instructional technology, integrate learning systems, use multimedia, and implement professional development to increase technology integration. For EDU 687, we are using the Remind app. The leadership researcher signs up in seconds to receive messages sent by the professor to the entire class or individual researchers. Phone numbers are kept private, and researchers never see each other's numbers. Time is saved by sending one-way announcements or starting two-way chats. Researchers can be reached by the professor on any device for free. Researchers can use Remind on the go by downloading the app on the iOS or Android. It is important that all leadership researchers have SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Let's talk about the first aspect of a SMART goal. When we talk about being specific, think about what do you ultimately want to achieve. In terms of it being measurable, how can you tell that you have achieved your goal? We also need to ensure that the goal is attainable. Can you envision yourself achieving your goal? The goal also has to be realistic. Is the goal too difficult to achieve? And finally, the goal must be timely. When is the completion date for achieving your goal? The example that I have for you is by June 2019, I will complete all courses towards my master's degree in educational leadership at Barry University, pass the FELE, and fulfill all entry requirements for the LEAD program to be an assistant principal in Broward County or ELA 1, Aspiring Leaders Academy 1 in Palm Beach County. Now, take some time and write down what is your SMART goal as an aspiring administrator. After completing the goal setting process, brainstorm actions or strategies that will enable you to get the skills necessary to become an effective administrator, the time it will take to complete the actions or strategies, and who the responsibility falls upon. For example, if your goal is to become an assistant principal, you may want to volunteer working with the school improvement plan or the SIP. You might even want to become the SAC chair for the upcoming school year, which is a year-long position, and you will need to know who will be responsible for bringing this reaction to reality. Think about actions or strategies that may range from a few weeks in length to an entire semester. So ensure that you have the time to dedicate to the tasks that your school principal, assistant principal, or district level administrator may charge you with. Please keep in mind that the ultimate responsibility for bringing your goal to reality is you, the education leadership researcher. Now, take some time to brainstorm actions or strategies, completion timelines, and the person responsible for the SMART action plan. Please take out your EDU 687 syllabus. In looking at our tentative calendar, please note today's class is the first of two online class sessions. The second online class session is June 21st. During class 1, as a team, we determined that assignment 3, Technology Rotation Plan, is due on June 28th. During our next class, on June 14th, the Technology Tools presentation is due. Please refer to the EDU 687 syllabus for details, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. The WCG module using technology for instructional purposes is due on LiveText on June 21st as an upload. Please refer to the EDU 687 syllabus for details. Please upload the WCG module as a PDF document and ensure that you have a references page with the appropriate APA citations. Take a look on the screen for the EDU 687 WCG checklist. Notice how it's completed. One step to take your technology learning to the next level would be to scan your completed WCG verification checklist using the Genius Scan app. You can download the Genius Scan app for free and link it to an email address. From there, you can scan documents directly to your email. The purpose of the Florida Principal Leadership Standards are set forth in rule as Florida's core expectations for effective school administrators. The standards are based on contemporary research on multidimensional school leadership and represent skill sets and knowledge bases needed in effective schools. The standards form the foundation for school leader personnel evaluations and professional development systems, school leadership preparation programs, and educator completion requirements. There are 10 standards grouped together into categories, which can be considered domains of effective leadership. Each standard has a title and includes, as necessary, descriptors that further clarify or define the standard, so the standards may be developed further into leadership curricula and proficiency assessments in fulfillment of their purposes. The two standards that are covered in the course are Standard 8, School Management, and Standard 9, Communication. Standard 8, School Management, discusses that effective school leaders manage the organization, operations, and facilities in ways that maximize the use of resources to promote a safe, efficient, legal, and effective learning environment. Standard 9 talks about communication, where effective school leaders practice two-way communications and use appropriate written, oral, and electronic communication, as well as collaboration skills to accomplish school and school system goals by building and maintaining relationships with all stakeholders, which include students, faculty, parents, and the community as well. Next, let's discuss Leadership Clock Buddies. The purpose of Leadership Clock Buddies is to support collaborative educational leadership research pairs for effective leadership communication. The instructions for the Leadership Clock Buddies are: book an appointment with 12 educational leadership researchers, one for each hour of the leadership clock. Ensure that you both have a record of the appointment on the leadership clocks, and also book the appointment if there is a vacant slot at the hour for both of your leadership clocks. For example, this is my leadership clock for EDU 687. I would have an appointment with Maria at 6 p.m., and she would also have an appointment with me at 6 p.m. This activity was done during the first class, so it's important that you have this because it would be a strategy that we use for our class in upcoming week. If you were absent during class 1, please see me during our next face-to-face class, and I will assign you to buddies for various times. Please remember to have your Textbook in Hand, Educational Leadership and Planning for Technology, the 5th edition by Anthony G. Picciano, and also your Barry University Researcher Online Notebook, which you will be filling out during the course of the following slides. Now, please turn to Chapter 5, Wisdom and Data-Driven Decision Making. Read Chapter 5, Wisdom and Data-Driven Decision Making, from pages 68 through 90. Some key points to consider include data-driven decision making is comprised of hardware and software. Importance is also placed on people and nurturing decision processes. IT infrastructure allows access to student data reports to make data-driven decisions to increase student achievement. For example, the Progress Monitoring and Reporting Network, PMRN, is a web-based data management system for recording and reporting student data from the Florida Kindergarten Readiness Screener Work Sampling System, FLKRS, WSS, and the Florida Assessment for Instruction and Reading aligned to the Florida Standards, FAIR-FS, for grades 3 through 12. Public and private schools utilize PMRN to monitor students' progress in reading. A data analyst, also called a data specialist or learning team facilitator, facilitates data-driven decision-making to impact planning, curriculum, instruction, and budgeting. 3 examples of data-driven decision-making are enrollment projections, improving teaching and learning, and surveying a school's community. Now, in your online notebook, please respond to the following questions. Developing data-driven decision-making processes requires integrating several key components. What are these components and why are they important? Information infrastructure is discussed in this chapter. What is meant by this term? How does it relate to data-driven communications and networking? Throughout this chapter, reference is made to stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders in a school or school district? How can they participate in data-driven decision-making processes? What tools do they need? A data analyst is someone who develops expertise in accessing and presenting information from a school's district's data sources. What other roles can a data analyst play in making data-driven decision-making processes effective? Evaluation of data-driven decision-making processes is well recognized as an important aspect of the decision process. Why is evaluation important? How would you characterize the nature of the evaluation in a decision process? Next, we move on to activities. Examine a data-driven decision-making activity at a school or your school. Determine the main participants in the activity, and document the communication links, if any, between administrators and teachers. Following up on the activity above, in the activity, how is data provided or delivered for the data-driven decision-making activity? Do you have any suggestions for improving the data delivery? Who do teachers or administrators go to if they have any questions on accuracy, currency, or completeness about the data? Please access the YouTube link for a principal's role in technology integration. After you have seen the link, please reflect on your role in technology integration at your current school. Chapter 6, Technology and Instruction. Read Chapter 6, Technology and Instruction, from pages 91 through 114. Some key points to consider are: school districts invest in educational technology with varying levels of success. Investment will increase. Instructional technology comes with problems, benefits, and potential. Researchers conclude it's beneficial and improves student achievement. The implementation problems, however, are curriculum integration and teacher training. Computer technology has merged with other technologies, such as multimedia and communications, to create a new instructional application called the Internet. Now respond to the following questions under Key Concepts and Questions for Chapter 6. Schools are investing significant resources in instructional technology. How have schools benefited from the investment to date? Instructional technology has been evolving since the 1950s and 1960s. Some computer educators consider that much of the early work has very little application in today's schools. Do you agree? If so, why? If you do not agree, provide examples of early work in instructional technology that are commonly used in today's schools. In implementing instructional technology, administrators may have several objectives. What are some of these objectives? What do you consider the most important objective for using technology in the classroom? Developing a classification system for instructional technology has proved to be an elusive endeavor. Why? Integrated learning systems are probably the most complete instructional computer applications available. If this is so, why have most schools not acquired them? Do you see any change in their acquisition in the near future? Explain. Computer technology is gradually merging with video and communications technologies to improve instructional applications. Give examples and discuss the potential of the following: A. Computer and video. B. Computer and communications. C. Computer, video, and communications. Integrating technology into the curriculum is proving to be a major problem in many school districts. Why? How do you see this problem being resolved? Chapter 6: Technology in Instruction Activities. Examine the types of instructional technology applications that exist in a school or in your school. Evaluate whether any patterns develop according to grade level, subject, or year of acquisition. If you are not familiar with instructional software, consider examining several instructional software packages that might exist in a school or in your current school. Try to select a variety of programs, drill and practice, simulations, and instructional games. Take notes on your impressions of the educational value of these programs. As a follow-up to the preceding activity, search and review a website or websites that provides information on instructional software. The following internet sites can be used to start your search. Click on the hyperlink below for the International Society for Technology and Education or Technology and Learning. Our references page covers all of the citations for this presentation. Have a great week, and I'll see you on June 14th.